Hello, Shalom. Welcome to day 90 of the Daily Bread. We'll be continuing our journey in Leviticus in chapter 11, in 2 Samuel chapter 20, Psalms 91, one of my favorite Psalms, Proverbs 28, and John 7. We'll be in the scriptures, to 2009 version. Leviticus 11. It's about what we eat and what we don't. Leviticus 11 on chapter 11 on page 114. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying to them, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, These are the living creatures which you do eat, all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatever has a split hoof completely divided, chewing the cud among the beasts that you do eat. Only these you do not eat among those that chew the cud or have a split hoof. The camel, because it chews the cud but does not have a split hoof, it is unclean to you. And the rabbit, because it chews the cud but does not have a split hoof, it is unclean to you. And a hare, because it chews the cud and does not have a split hoof, it is unclean to you. And the pig, though it has a split hoof, completely divided, yet does not chew the cud, it is unclean to you. Their flesh you do not eat, and their carcasses you do not touch. They are unclean to you. These you do eat of all that are in the waters. Any one that has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, or on the rivers, that you do eat. But all that do not have fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, and all that move in the waters, or any living being which is in the waters, they are an abomination to you. They are an abomination to you. Of their flesh you do not eat, and their carcasses you abominate. All these have not fins or scales in the waters, are an abomination to you. And these you do abominate among the birds. They have not eaten, they are an abomination. The eagle, and the vulture, and the black vulture, and the hawk, and the falcon after its kind, every raven after its kind, and the ostrich, and the nighthawk, and the seagull, and the hawk after its kind, and the little owl, and the fisher owl, and the great owl, the white owl, the pelican, and the carrion vulture, and the stork, the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe, and the bat. All flying insects that creep on all fours is an abomination to you. Only these you do eat of every flying insect that creeps on all fours, those which have joined legs above their feet with which to leap on the earth. These of them you do eat. The arbel locust after its kind, and the soham locust after its kind, and the hargol locust after its kind, and the hagba locust after its kind. But all the other flying insects which have 4 feet are an abomination to you. And by these you are made unclean. Anyone touching the carcass of any of them is unclean until evening. And anyone picking up part of the carcass of any of them has to wash his garments and shall be unclean until evening. Every beast that has a split hoof, not completely divided, or does not chew the cud, is unclean to you. Anyone who touches their carcass is unclean. And whatever goes on its paws among all the creatures that go on all fours, those are unclean to you. Dogs, cats. Anyone who touches their carcass is unclean until evening, and he who picks up their carcass has to wash his garments, and shall be unclean until evening. they are unclean to you. And these are unclean to you among the creeping creatures that creep on the earth, the mole and the mouse and the tortoise after its kind, and the gecko and the land crocodile and the sand reptile and the sand lizard and the chameleon. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Anyone who touches them when they are dead, becomes unclean until evening. And whatever any of them in it is dead and whatever any of them in its dead state falls upon becomes unclean. Whether it is a wooden object or a garment or skin or sack, any object in which work is done, it is put in water, and shall be unclean until evening, then it shall be clean. Any earthen vessel into which any of them falls, whatever it becomes unclean, and you break it. Any of the food which might be eaten, of which water comes unclean. And any drink which might be drunk from it becomes unclean. And on whatever any of their carcass falls becomes unclean. An oven or cooking range, it is broken down. They are unclean, and they are unclean to you. But a fountain or a well, a collection of water, is clean. But whatever touches their carcass is unclean. And when any of their carcasses falls on any planting seed, which is to be sown, it is clean. But when any water is on the seed, and any part of such carcass falls on it, it is unclean to you. And when any of these beasts, which are yours for food, dies, he who touches its carcass becomes unclean until evening. And he who eats of its carcass has to wash his garments, and shall be unclean until evening. And he who picks up its carcass has to wash his garments, and shall be unclean until evening. And every swarming creature, the ones that swarm on the earth, is an abomination. It is not eaten. Whatever crawls on its stomach, and whatever goes on all fours, and whatever has feet among all swarming creatures, the ones swarming on the earth, these you do not eat, for they are an abomination. Do not make yourselves abominable with any swarming creature, the one swarming, and do not make yourselves unclean with them, lest you be defiled by them. For I am Yahweh, your Elohim, and you shall set yourself apart, and you shall be set apart, for I am set apart. And do not defile yourselves with any swarming creature, the one creeping on the earth. For I am Yahweh, who is bringing you up out of the land of Mizraim to be your Elohim, and you shall be set apart, for I am set apart. This is the Torah of the beasts and the birds and every living being, the creeping creatures in the waters and every being that swarms on the earth, to make a distinction between the unclean and the clean, and between the living creature that is eaten and the living creature that is not eaten. On to 2 Samuel chapter 20 on page 339. And there came to be a man of Belial, whose name was Sheba, son of Berekah, a Benjamite. And he blew with the shofar and said, We have no part in David, nor do we have an inheritance in the son of Yeshar. Each one to his own tents, O Israel. Then all the men of Israel deserted David to follow Sheba, the son of Belek, but the men of Judah from the Jordan, as far as Jerusalem, clung to their sovereign. And David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the sovereign took the 10 women, his concubines, whom he had left to look after the house, and put them in protected house, and supported them, but did not go into them. So they were shut up to the day of their death, living in widowhood. And the sovereign said to Amasa, call the men of Judah for me within 3 days, and be present here yourself. And Amasa sent to call the men of Judah, but he delayed longer than the appointed time which David had appointed him. And David said to Abish, now Sheba, son of Barak, is going to do us more evil than Absalom. Take the servants of your master and pursue him, lest he find for himself walled cities and escape us. Then the young man of Joab went out after him with the Kerites and the Pelethites and all the mighty men. And they went out of Jerusalem to pursue Sheba, son of Barak. When they were near the very large stone which is in Gibeon, Amas came before them, and Joab was dressed in battle armor, and on it was a girdle with a sword fastened in its sheath at his hips. And as he went forward, it fell out. And Joab said to Amas, peace, my brother. And Joab took Amas by the beard with his right hand to kiss him. But Amas was not on guard against the sword in Joab's hand, and he struck him with it in his stomach, in his inward parts, poured out on the ground, and he did not strike him again, and he died. Then Joab and Abish, his brother, pursued Sheba, son of Barak. And a man, one of Joab's men, stood beside him and said, who is well pleased with Joab, and whoever is for David, let him follow Joab. And Amas was rolling in his blood in the middle of the highway, and the man saw that all the people stood still. So he moved Amas from the highway to the field, and threw a garment over him, when he saw that everyone who came upon him halted. When he was removed from the highway, all the men passed over after Joab to pursue Sheba, son of Barak, B-I-K-R-I. And he passed over through all the tribes of Israel to Abel, and to Beth-Maacham, and to all the Berites. And they were assembled, and went after him too. And they went and besieged him in Abel of Beth-Maacham, and they cast up a siege mound against the city. And it stood in a rampart, and then all the people who were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down. Then a wise woman called out from the city, listen, listen, please say to Joab, come nearby so I speak to you. And he came near to her. And the woman said, are you Joab? And he answered, I am. Then she said to him, listen to the words of your female servant. And he answered, I am listening. Then she spoke, saying, in former times they often spoke, saying, let them inquire Abel. So they ended the matter. I am of the peaceable and trustworthy ones of Israel. You seek to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why do you swallow up the inheritance of Yahweh? And Joab answered and said, Far be it from me to swallow up or to destroy. That is not the case. But a man from the mountains of Ephraim, Sheba, son of Barak, by name, has raised his hands against the sovereign, against David. Hand him over, him alone, and I withdraw from the city. And the woman said to Joab, look, his head is going to be thrown to you over the wall. Wow, I like her. So the woman in her wisdom went to all the people, and they cut off the head of Sheba, son of Barak, and threw it out to Joab. Then he blew with the shofar, and they dispersed from the city, each one to his tent. And Joab returned to the sovereign of Jerusalem. Now Joab was over all the army of Israel, and Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, was over the Kerites and the Perizzites, and Amor was over the compulsory labor, and Josaphat, son of Ali, was recorder, and Shua was scribe, and Sadak and Evelyn were the priests, and an Eri the Uttite was a priest of David. It's like, okay, all right. Psalms 91, on page 699. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, who abides under the shadow of the Almighty, he is saying of Yahweh, my refuge and my stronghold, my Elohim in whom I trust. For he delivers you from the snare of a trapper, from the destructive pestilence. He covers you with his pinion, and under his wings you take refuge. His truth is a shield and armor. You are not afraid by the dread by night, of the arrow that flies by day, of the pestilence that walks in darkness, of destruction that ravages at midday. 1,000 fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it does not come near you. Only with your eyes you look on, and see the reward of the wrong ones, because you have made Yahweh, my refuge, the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil befalls you, and a plague does not come near your tent. For he commands his messengers concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They bear you up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You tread upon lion and cobra, young lion and serpent you trample underfoot. Because he cleaves to me in love, therefore I deliver him. I set him on high, because he has known my name. When he calls on me, I answer him. I am with him in distress. I deliver him and esteem him. With long life I satisfy him, and show him my deliverance. On to Proverbs 28 on page 754. That woman's still cracking me up. Anyway, the wrong shall flee, though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. Because of a transgression of land, many are its rulers, but by a man of understanding and knowledge right is maintained. A poor man who oppresses the poor is like a sweeping rain that leaves no food. Those who forsake the Torah praise the wrong. Those who guard the Torah strive with them. Evil men do not understand right ruling, but those who seek Yahweh understand all. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity, the one perverse in his ways who is rich. He who watches over the Torah is a discerning son, but a companion of gluttons shames his father. He who increases his possessions by interest and profit gathers it for him who shows favor to the poor. He who turns away his ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer, is an abomination. He who causes the straight to go astray in an evil way falls into his own pit, but the perfect inherit the good. A rich man is wise in his own eyes, but the poor who has understanding searches him out. When the righteous exalt, there is great comeliness, but when the wrong arise, a man is searched for. He who hides his transgression does not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them finds compassion. Blessed is the man who fears Yahweh, fears Elohim, but he who hardens his heart falls into evil. A roaring lion and charging bear is a wrongdoing ruler over poor people. A leader who lacks understanding is a great oppressor, but the hater of greed prolongs his days. A man oppressed by blood guilt flees into a pit. Let no one help him, but he who walks blamelessly is saved. But the perverse of the ways falls at once. He who tills his land is satisfied with bread, but he who pursues vanity is filled with poverty. A man of truth has many blessings, but one is hungry to be rich does not go unpunished. To show partiality is not good, because for the price of a bread man would transgress. A man with an evil eye runs after wealth, and does not know that poverty awaits him. He who reproves a man finds more favor afterwards than he who flatters with the tongue. He who robs his father or his mother and says it is no transgression, he is companion to a destroyer. He who is greedy stirs up strife, but he who trusts in Yahweh prospers. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but he who walks wisely is delivered. He who gives to the poor does not lack, but he who hides his eyes does have many curses. When the wrong rise up, men hide themselves, and when they perish, the righteous increase. On to John chapter 8. I'm sorry, John chapter 7. Okay. On page 1030. 1030. And after this, Yeshua was walking in Galilee, for he did not wish to walk in Judah, because the Judeans were seeking to kill him. And the festival of the Judeans was near, the festival of Sukkot booths. So his brothers said to him, "Get away from here and go into Judah, so that your taught ones also see the works that you are doing. For no one acts in secret while he himself seeks to be known openly. If you do these works, show yourself to the world." For even his brothers did not believe in him. Yes, Yeshua had brothers. Yeshua therefore said to them, "My time has not yet come, but your time is always ready. It is impossible for the world to hate you, but it hates me because I bear witness of it that its works are wicked. You go up to this festival. I am not yet going up to this festival, for my time has not yet been filled." And having said this to them, he stayed in Galilee. But when his brothers had gone up to the festival, then he also went up, not openly, but as it were a secret. And the Judeans therefore were seeking him at the festival, and said, "Where is he?" And there was much grumbling about him among the crowd. Some were saying, "He is good," but others were saying, "No, he is leading the crowd astray." However, no one spoke openly of him for the fear of the Judeans. And about the middle of the festival, Yeshua went up into the set-apart place, and he was teaching. And the Judeans were marveling, saying, "How does this man know letters, not having learned?" And Yeshua answered them and said, "My teaching is not mine, but his who sent me. If anyone desires to do his desire, he shall know concerning the teaching whether it is from Elohim or whether I speak for myself. He who speaks from himself is seeking his own esteem, but he who seeks the esteem of the one who sent him is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. Did not Moshe give you the Torah? Yet not one of you does the Torah. Why do you seek to kill me?" The crowd answered and said, "You have a demon. who seeks to kill you? And Yeshua answered and said to them, I did one work, and you marveled. Because of this, Moshe has given you the circumcision, though it is not from Moshe, but from the fathers, and your circumcision of man on the Sabbath, and you circumcise a man on the Sabbath. If a man receives circumcision on the Sabbath, so that the Torah of Moshe should not be broken, are you wroth with me because I made a man entirely well on the Sabbath? Do not judge according to appearance, but judge with righteousness judgment. Therefore some of them from Jerusalem said, Is it not he whom they are seeking to kill? And see, he speaks boldly, and they say none at all to him. Could it be that the rulers truly know that this is truly the Messiah? Let me repeat that. Verse 26. And see, he speaks boldly, and they say none at all to him. Could it be that the rulers truly know that this is truly the Messiah? Some did. Most didn't like his competition he was giving them. 27. But we know where this one is from, and when the Messiah comes, no one knows where he is from. Yeshua therefore cried out in the set-apart place, the temple, teaching and saying, You both know me, and you know where I am from, and I have not come of myself, but he who sent me is true, whom you do not know. But I know him, because I am from him, and he sent me. So they were seeking to seize him, but no one laid a hand on him, because his hour had not yet come. And many of the crowd believed in him, and said, When the Messiah comes, shall he do more signs than these which this one did? The Pharisees heard the crowd muttering these mutterings concerning him, Yeshua. And the Pharisees and the chief priests sent officers to seize him. Therefore Yeshua said to them, Yet a little while I am with you. Then I go to him who sent me. You shall seek me, and you shall not find me. And where I am, you are unable to come. And the Judeans therefore said to themselves, Where is he about to go that we shall not find him? Is he about to go to the dispersation among the Greeks and to teach the Greeks? What is this word that he said, You shall seek me, you shall not find me, and where I am, you shall not be able to come? And on the last day, the great day of the festival, Yeshua stood and cried out, saying, If anyone thirsts, let him come to me, and let him who believes in me drink. As the scripture said, out of his innermost shall follow. As the scripture said, out of his innermost shall flow rivers of living water. And this he said concerning the Spirit, which those believing in him were about to receive, for the set-apart Spirit was not yet given. It's in Acts chapter 2-ish. Because Yeshua was not yet esteemed. Many of the crowd, when they heard the word, then they said, This truly is the prophet. Others said, This is the Messiah. But others said, Does the Messiah then come out of Galilee? Did not the scripture say that the Messiah comes from the seed of David and from the village of Bethlehem, where David was? So a division came among the people because of him, and some of them wished to take him, but no one laid hands on him. The officers therefore came to the chief priests and Pharisees and said to them, Why did you not bring him? The officers answered, Never has any man spoken like this man. The Pharisees therefore answered them, Have you also been led astray? Has any one of the rulers or of the Pharisees believed in him? But this crowd does not know the Torah is accursed. Nicodemus, who came to Yeshua by night, being one of them, said to them, Does our Torah judge the man unless it hears first from him and knows that he is what he is doing? They answered and said to him, Are you also from Galilee? Search and see that no prophet has risen out of Galilee. And each one went to his own house. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible and talk to the Father.